The best show for Chicago sports.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Where they do this at? What's good, y'all? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all already know how we get down, man. We got a lot to get into today, so let's get into it. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. How do the Bulls deal with the Bucks size? We've had a lot of like, oh, this is what the Bulls are going to do. Bucks are going to do. They going to get work. We got to have real conversation on this team, though. Then we got the play-in tournament last night. Another dope moment. I'm not going to lie. The play-in tournament, it's like, dog, it's bad, but it's good at the same time. I'm sick of it. We're going to react to that. And, of course, got to talk about that Minnesota Timberwolves championship last night. All that and more as we welcome in Stefan Adon into the building.
What's happening? We here. What's good?
Hey, man. Hey, Timberwolves championship or bust, baby. Let's go.
Hey, man.
Hey, we keeping it vibing. We keeping it right. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and
What's
rocking with us.
What's good?
As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. This is the only channel that's talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Also, if you guys hit that sub button, we're going to be giving away the Ayo Dosunmu jersey, hopefully in the playoffs when we get to 13,000 subscribers. Let's get this smug cracking. As y'all saw yesterday in the tweet that we sent out, share up the latest Bulls content for an opportunity. And just make sure that you sub to the page, man, and you rocking with us throughout the rest of this playoffs, man. Because the playoffs are real, dog. The playoffs are real. I'm not even going to lie to you. I can't stand the play-in game, but as I watch it more, I really think that it's going to become like how baseball's is, the one-game playoff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't count that as the playoffs. I don't count the play-in as the playoffs.
Man, it's I look. I'm gonna call it the playoffs because it's a. I'm gonna call it the playoffs because it's a playoff atmosphere, bro.
Nah,
it's a playoff.
Hey, man, I got regular season games with a playoff atmosphere.
Got a difference of opinion on that. Because last night,
that Clippers Bulls game was a playoff atmosphere.
Oh my God!
It not?
All right.
Was it not?
All right. It might have been for y'all. Like what do you quantify as playoff atmosphere though? Because the T-Wolves game last night, everybody was engaged. The crowd was into it.
I just think it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think it is. Mm-hmm. It's the play-in, and shout out to Samurai J, said he getting his Suzuki jersey. ASAP Suzuki is nice. I give y'all that.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie. Easiest home run call in the game. Easiest home run call in the game.
Hey, listen, don't Fukudome it.
I hit two of them yesterday. You feel me?
But no, I mean, here's the thing for me with the play-in game. To me, right, like you've got to have a separation because there are legitimately two teams that didn't make the playoffs. There are legitimately like two teams that weren't good enough to be a playoff team. Like at a minimum, right? Like the Clippers lose last night. Okay, they're not the 7th seed.
Mm-hmm.
They're still probably going to be the 8th seed. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Like if you get an upset, it's a little bit different. But like usually talent trumps all in the NBA. And so like I feel like the play-in is what it is. It's the play-in. You know what I'm saying? Not to take anything away from it, but I think the NBA made the distinction of it. It's not playoffs, no matter how much the Timberwolves celebrate that championship. It's not playoffs, and that's okay. But I'll tell you what, you know when the play-in games are much more fun? when your team's not in it. That's when the play-in game is fun right there, baby.
Right.
Chicago Bulls are not in the play-in game. And I'm going to be real with you. I feel like all of this week has been, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, the Bulls are going to go out there and they're going to compete and but they're going to get smoked and all that. And listen, that may all be the case, honestly. Like, can I say that's not the case? I hope not. I hope my team comes out.
What's good, Baki?
But it is a very serious possibility. But just like with every team, it's a very serious possibility. Mitchell, what's good? Sean, what's good?
What's up, Sean?
And so I want to have the conversation and a serious conversation, right? Like,
What's up?
about and kind of throughout the rest of this week. Now, I won't take over the whole show. There's going to be a ton of games. Like, there's play-in games tonight. We're going to talk about the play-in games today. But just breaking down real situations where the Bulls could find themselves in a winning situation in this series. I mean, listen, we got to look at this and see if there's something that can change, if there's something that can be done, right? And for me, the question on the table today, how do the Bulls deal with the Bucks size? It's a tough question to break down because there's so much size on that Bucks team just in 3 guys. You're talking about Giannis, Portis, and Lopez. And Lopez ain't even always down low in the paint. You have to find a way to negate that. How do the Bulls negate the Bucks size with the team that they currently have as it's constructed?
They gotta hit shots, bro. They gotta hit shots. I mean, that's all this comes down to. Hey, by the way, before we really get started, don't expect no foul calls.
Don't expect no foul calls. Hey, we telling you here. We're gonna be telling you this all week. We'll tell you this all series. Don't expect no foul calls.
Nah, but on the serious, hey, we telling you that all week. But on the serious note, nah, man, they just gotta hit shots. You gotta kind of open them up so you have those driving lanes. Like I said yesterday, I mean, if you actually go back and look at the Bucks, they give up a pretty decent amount of 3-pointers, and it's not just to the Bulls, it's everybody in the league. I mean, that's been the game plan for about 2 seasons now. Yeah. And what makes it even worse for the Bulls right now is that Kobe White isn't hitting shots. So when Kobe White isn't hitting shots, you have people like Pat Connaughton that's just legitimately cherry picking, and then I get to stay in the lane. So that way, when a Kobe White or somebody does drive it and you don't take the open wide shot, hey, I can just come in here and get this young strip from you real quick.
Yeah,
and so on and so forth. I mean, like it has to start from the 3-point line down, because then after that you get Zach involved, you get DeMar involved, and then everything trickles down after that. But like I said yesterday, this is going to be a big lesson, and we have to start running the offense through Vooch, whether they come out with a dub in this series or not.
Yeah, I think here's the question you got to break down, right? Like, and the question that's gonna be a tough one to answer, right? Like, especially coming into the playoffs, this is not something you want to be answering right now. But if you're looking at this Bulls team right now, is Kobe White even a factor on it, right? And I mean, like, in the last 2 games now, we've seen Kobe, hey, give him some rest. And I've seen a lot of guys, right, where, like, the foot off of the gas approach actually works for them. And I think that at this point, that's all Billy Donovan's hoping for. You try to put him in a position, force him to be successful. Let's go. Like, get the shot falling. You got to get the shot falling. You got to keep shooting. But sometimes taking the foot off of the gas does make a difference. And so you hope that that's the effect. I think that's the effect Billy Donovan's hoping for here with Kobe White. But in the last 2 games, they've shot it pretty well. And I get, listen, coming down the stretch, okay, not the best teams that you're playing. You do still get blown out by the Charlotte Hornets. But I mean, if you look at the numbers, you would be like, man, how did the Charlotte beat us? Oh, they shot like 90% at one point in this game. But
yeah, LaMelo hit like what five of his like
let's cook
his
it.
first 5 shots.
This is the wild part, right?
That man thought he was at Chino Hills. He was pulling up.
Hey, so this is the wild part. So I'm having my brother bachelor party this weekend. We're going to a bowling alley. We're just gonna kick it, drink, dude stuff. You know what I'm saying? Watch the games. The games are gonna be on. It's gonna be on Saturday. But the first plan was to take him to that Charlotte game. I'm so glad I didn't do it. It was gonna be like 10 racks. It was gonna be like 10 racks, bro. I'm so glad I didn't take him to that Charlotte game. But I mean, in that Minnesota game, from the 3-point line, Bulls shot 48%, 10 for 21. From the field, they shot 44 for 83. I'm going to be honest with you, though. Like, you look at this Hornets game here, matchup-wise. Let me see here. Bulls, from the 3-point line, shot 54%. From the field, shot 54%.
Which is crazy.
They got cooked. We lost 133 to 117. They shot 54%. You know what I'm saying? Like, crazy numbers here. 44 for 82. Like, they didn't have a bad shooting night. And so I look at this game not as can Kobe White get it going, but can the team as a whole get it going? And can they keep up the way they've shot these last couple of games from outside? These last couple of games from outside have actually been pretty good. And it hasn't been, listen, it still hasn't been Kobe White. We forget, right? Like, this is Zach LaVine off a full week of rest. Actually, in that game, Kobe White was cooking. So maybe you hope, maybe that's why he sat him that last game. You hope that, hey, in that game, he shot 6 for 9 from the 3-point line. Hey, that's how you finish the season. Sit down. But I mean, like, other than that, like, you want Zach LaVine to get it going. You want DeMar DeRozan to chip in with a couple. P. Will had 2 in that game. Who else shot the 3 ball well? Io was 1 for 2. In the last game, he shot it better than that. Troy Brown was 2 for 4. Let's hope we don't see that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's more like we focus in on Kobe White, and Kobe White's a big piece of it. But this Bulls team as a whole needs to shoot it well from deep. It hasn't just been Kobe White that hasn't shot it well from deep. Zach LaVine hasn't been shooting it well from deep. Ayo Dosunmu hasn't been shooting it well from deep. He's been shooting 26% in the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think this entire Bulls team, like, if we're saying just that, right, how does this change? How does it negate the Bucks' size if we do shoot it well?
Like I said,
the series in your mind.
If you shoot it well, okay. I'm gonna just say it like this.
Because we keep saying that. You know what I'm saying? We keep saying you just got to shoot it well. If they shoot it well,
but that's,
what if they shoot it well?
That's I mean that's the big thing. Like if you come out game 1 and you win, right? Because like I said, I feel like for like some of the top seeds, game one is a filler game. Yo, like really what they doing. If we gotta turn it up, like we probably will. At minimum, we trying to get these dudes out of here in 5.
Yeah.
But that second game, if like I said, if Kobe, Io, or Caruso come out and hit their first 2 threes, then that game plan automatically has to change because we can't sit. They can't set paint.
Yeah.
Like they won't be able to set paint. And to be honest, like I said, when they set paint, nobody is scoring over like Chris Middleton. Like nobody's scoring over the size of Chris Middleton because Chris Middleton is 6'8". Then after that you got Giannis, and then after that you got Brook at the back end of all of that, which to be honest, he may not block the shot, but at best, he's gonna change the trajectory of the shots because DeMar and Zach won't be able to get in there, especially DeMar DeRozan because we know that he doesn't really shoot the 3 like that. But he shot it well when he has.
Yeah.
So it's just like if you do that, you can open them up a little bit, but it's all about getting Vooch the ball in the post, and then after that, I need to see at least maybe 3 to 4 passes on each possession at minimum.
Yeah. Well, that's why I asked the question, right? Because we're talking about, like, we're really just talking about making shots.
We went from talking about defense to talking about rebounds. Now we talking about
Making shots. We've hit everything under the sun in this year, dog, haven't we? And I get it's a big thing, but I want to know how that changes the series for us, right? Like, it changes how they play defense.
Oh, no, absolutely.
And does that give the Bulls more of an advantage? Does it not really change much in our minds? What does that do, right? Because, like, for me, the best way to deal with that size is to knock down those shots. They're giving you the 25 and out. They just are. They're giving you that 25 and out. Cornelius, welcome to the Super Fans, man. Appreciate that love. They're giving you that 25 and out.
That.
I'm not saying that the Bulls can shoot that well for an entire series, but they gave you those shots.
But they give everybody those shots too, though.
They give everybody those shots 100%. But if all of a sudden we're talking about knocking down those shots, how does that change the series for you? Because for me now DeMar DeRozan has an opportunity to play his game. Now DeMar DeRozan, see the difference with DeMar in those games, and those last two at least, that pump fake, you jump, I step through, doesn't work if Brook Lopez or Giannis is in my way. It just doesn't. Like, if I and then I go step through and Brook Lopez is right there like this, he's still 7 foot whatever he is. He's huge.
7 foot, 7'1" almost.
He's almost 7'1" with a huge wingspan out here. So, like, he's still a monster, a force on the board. So, like, for me, right, like, I'm looking at this like, okay, now Brook Lopez, like, I think the most important person knocking down shots, at least in game one coming out of it, P. Will and Vooch. And I'm not even talking, and I get, like, establishing Vooch in the paint. I want to establish Vooch in the paint. I don't want Vooch to start the game taking a shot. I want the Bulls to get it into him, but I need them to kick the ball out to the corners, and I need those guys to knock down three. I need that to be Ayo DeSumo. I need that to be Patrick Williams, who seems like he's pretty proficient at knocking down that three ball. I need that to be Zach LaVine, DeMar, whoever it is, right? That guy that's down there, because then now you start spreading it out. Now Vooch can get his little floater going down low. I like that. And then now you start taking 3-point shots, because if Vooch starts knocking down a three ball, this series is completely different.
No, and that's right, because like I said, I'm gonna keep telling y'all this. Go back, watch the last two. Matter of fact, don't even watch the last two Bulls Bucks games. Just go to the highlights. Check out that fourth quarter. Like, the Bulls aren't hitting shots, so then DeMar feels like, okay, it's time for me to take over. Only problem is Bud is just like, oh, he got ball. Hey, Drew, what you want?
Yeah. Did Ayo having that game, does that make him more confident in himself and maybe make him kind of take more of the reins of this team? Because for me, like, I come in looking at the part where the Bulls start to get in a little bit of trouble, not to say it's just DeMar ISO ball, but when they fall back, what I say early, when you fall back on what you know, and what you know is I'm going to attack the bucket, I'm going to force the issue, I'm going to do the job, I'm going to put the team on my back. That's what both of these guys know. Like, we're expecting them to change their entire mindset. What team has DeMar been on that he hasn't had to put the team on his back? What team is Zach LaVine been on? He hasn't had to put the team on his back.
He was doing the same thing in Toronto, and I feel like that could quite possibly happen here. But he also knows, hey, that's probably a first round exit. Cause he now everything is in the half court.
Yeah.
So it's like I gotta start moving the ball as it pertains to Ayo. It's just like you hope you know that you get something out of him, maybe for a game, maybe two, making those hustle plays. I mean, like, no, you seen it last night. like the one thing I was impressed with about that whole Minnesota game, if because I was looking at the game that he dropped 40, like I think it was like the second to last game before the season. He was like, "Yo, I'm ready for the play, and I'm ready to do this." So then the whole time, I'm sitting back, okay, let's see what he got. First play of the game. Are they sagging off? Splash. Yeah. First defensive possession. Oh, let me get in the lane. Let me try to get that steal. Yeah. That was setting the tone. So then now, you feel me? You feel me? As soon as he made those two plays, it was like, all right, I got my confidence up. Like, let's get to it. But he came in ready. So that's something that you just kind of hope that you now look. He probably not gonna give you an Anthony Edwards performance. If he do, that's crazy. But if he can just come ready with everything that we know he got, I think the Bulls will be able to take the game.
Shout out the Jolt for hopping into the chat.
Yo,
here's a interesting breakdown, which is how I wanted to finish this out. Is this a situation, even coming off of the game that you just had, where you sit P. Will and you start Tristan Vooch to negate some of that size? You have DeMar, you have Zach, you have Io, and you work them in a rotation. But at least at the start of the game, right, to establish Vooch, to get Vooch going, is that something that you do? Or has P. Will done enough where you say you have to start P. Will because he's your best chance to defend Giannis? And I will say, you do got to defend. Like, P. Will has done a good job in his career. He's done a good job in his career defending Giannis.
This is the thing. I can't start Tristan. And the only reason why I can't start Tristan is because of what?
I say because Tony Bradley's right behind him.
Tony Bradley's right. You're putting in the scrubs of the scrubs. I can't start Tristan, and this is why. Like I said, everybody around the NBA know that they're packing the paint and they're gonna give you the three. I didn't know Tristan had a J. If Tristan had a J,
yeah,
this is a whole different story. But Tristan don't have a J. P. Will does. So I will have to give him the start just because of that. Because now you talking about Vooch. I could see Vooch out in the corner.
You do got to take that shot, because here's the thing, right? Like,
yeah,
if you notice
it's kind of tricky, but I don't know.
Yeah, if you go back and watch the games, and by the way, if you're in here, man, hit that like button. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We got 53 in here early, 29 likes. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Talk Chicago Sports Daily on this channel. Here's the thing, right? For me, that is something you have to watch defensively. The Bulls, or Giannis on the Bulls, does not do the same thing that P. Will does to the Bucks. Like, and what I mean by this, like, P. Will, or coming up the court, Giannis has the ball, P. Will's on him. Coming up the court, somebody else has the ball. Giannis isn't stuck to P. Will. Giannis is playing linebacker. He's not stuck to P. Will. He's not attached to him at the hip. And so, like, for me, like you said, that is a big thing. Like, I like the idea of starting Tristan if you need the size to change things defensively inside. But like you said, on the offensive end, listen, defensively, it sounds great if you can slow down them on the other end and make shots on the other end. But how does adding Tristan change Vooch? Like, I get it is a play. It's a toss up, right? Because, like, now you can have Vooch take shots. Now you can have Vooch shoot from the mid-range. Now you can have Vooch, you know what I'm saying, attack the basket like he's done in the playoffs before. And Vooch numbers versus Minnesota and Milwaukee in the playoffs are actually pretty good. I think Vooch averaged like 28 in that game. Now, completely different role, but I think Vooch averaged like 28 in that series, dog. me double check that. Let me look back on that, dog. I'm pretty sure Vooch averaged like 28, 12, and 11 or something in that series. Like it was crazy numbers. Let me hit up Stat Muse. But like if you do that, now you have Tristan down low fighting for rebounds. Like it. Do you feel like the game we saw versus Minnesota, the Bulls didn't have P. Will down in the paint fighting for offensive boards, down in the paint fighting for defensive boards because he was the focal point of the offense. You're not going to get that same guy because he has a completely different role in the playoffs coming up. P. Will's the 4 in this series. P. Will's the guy that has to be down there helping on offensive boards, has to be down there helping on defensive boards. He's not going to get those opportunities where he can just attack from the top because he's setting screens for guys underneath. He's playing the 4.
Nah, yeah, most definitely. I agree with that. The only thing is, if you paid attention to the game last night, and this is what I was saying about Jared Vanderbilt. He's not really gonna give you points unless he boards, but he's also a great rebounder. He's also a really great rebounder for his size, and he's also a great defender. Like he was, that first half, that was as great a first half as you can play on Paul George. Yeah. And then I told you late game, what did they do? Like they had to take him out because of some foul trouble. Hey, I'm putting Pat Bev on him.
Yeah.
First thing Pat Bev did. Why you second off? Let me put my body on him a little bit. Let me knock him off his spot. First shot he took, he bricked. But essentially, what the T-Wolves got that the Bulls don't is not knockdown shooters.
Yeah.
Like I can like P Will can do that, if Io's sitting up here consistently knocking down like 40%, or Zach is knocking down like 37%, because when Jared Vanderbilt got them kickouts, oh hey, rebound, timeout, Malik Beasley, come get this. Yeah. Even Anthony Edwards, get the read. Let me kick this out the D-Lo for the corner 3. So it's just like it's kind of weird. I mean, I get the concept. I see what you're saying, but it's like you only hope.
Yeah.
You can you can literally only hope that happens. Like it's a whole lot of ifs was a fifth right now. But
well, I mean, listen, you're playing the NBA champions, right? Yeah. Like it's all an if. Like it's not like we feel great coming into this, like, oh, we're dominating y'all, but more so like I wanted to have the conversation of like, hey, how do they negate this? What is going to be the best way? Because the size is the toughest thing to deal with on the Milwaukee Bucks, right? Like Giannis is Giannis. Like there's no dealing with that. There's no dealing with arguably the best player in the NBA. Like it just isn't. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Cornelius coming in with the Raiders comment. Great morning, my Bulls in the playoffs, and my Raiders just signed Carr for $121.5 million, 3 years. Shout out to my nations.
Okay.
Hey. Let's hope it works out, my boy. Let's hope Derek Carr is like P Kid said. He's that dominant with with Devontae Adams on his team, man. That's
hey, a lot of money, my boy. Like, hey, we gonna give you the same amount of years we gave Devontae Adams, so that way once it's over, both of y'all can get up out of here.
If this fails, everybody's gone. No, man. Hey, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel that's talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. Also, make sure you guys are listening in. If you can't stick around for the full video, over on the Contender side, the Contender, where you're hearing nonstop sports talk while you're on the clock. Make sure you download that app as well, and you can hear us over there. We've got some great things coming from the Contender this coming year as well. So a lot of growth coming from the channel, a lot of growth coming from the brand, a lot of growth coming in general, man. We appreciate all you guys' support. Shout out to everybody who super chats in. Shout out to everybody who sends the cash app stuff like that, man. It's a lot of love out here. It's a lot of love out here. Let's keep it pushing, though, my boy. Let's keep the show moving in the right direction.
Let's go.
Of course, we got to break down the play-in last night. The play-in was crazy. I hate to say it, but the play-in was crazy. And let's start with that first game. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nets. First off, Ringo avoids them.
Yeah.
Ringo avoids them. Devon was good. Ringo avoid his Miami Heat. Ringo was stressing last night. Y'all don't even know.
I'm not gonna lie. Hey, you saw the tweet. You saw the tweet.
Hey. I was cracking up. That man was pressed. He was mad pressed. He didn't know what was gonna happen. And I think that's the problem, right? Like when we're breaking down this game, a great first quarter from the Nets. Dominant. 40-point first quarter. I think I want to say Minnesota. I want to say that
40-24.
Yeah, 40-24, they get outscored. But as I watched the rest of that game, and big ups to Cleveland for the team that they've put together, big ups to JB Bickerstaff and the boys over there. He absolutely should be in the running for Coach of the Year.
They got outplayed.
Dog, they really got outplayed. The Brooklyn Nets, to a subpar, unhealthy, Karis LeVert out there getting active Cleveland team. By the way, I just want my flowers on that when I said it's tough to play off ball, Pat. It's not that tough to adjust. Yeah, okay.
No, it's definitely a learning curve. All the pros say at minimum, it's at least if you've never played off ball, go. I sent y'all the clip. Gilbert Arenas and Paul Pierce said it at least take you 2 to 3 years.
That ain't just the
how to play off ball.
Bro. Just because he played 2 guard don't mean he's the one not bringing the ball up the court.
It take you 2 to 3 years to learn how to play.
He played 40 minutes last night, 4 for 12, 1 for 2 from the 3-point line, 3 for 3. But, and here's the thing, if he has a good game, we're talking about a Cleveland win. By the way, Larry's the same dude, if y'all were wondering. In case anybody's in here that's like, we needed to keep Larry marketing. He's the same dude. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 5 for 14. For some reason, he was guarding Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Kevin Durant was straight glass in that man.
Disrespectful. But no, I mean, moving forward now as the playoffs keep going, dog, I've got real concerns about the Nets. Like, I felt like coming into this.
I told you I play defense.
But it wasn't even the defense, bro. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if it wasn't Kyrie and KD, there was no offense. If it wasn't Kyrie and KD and the offense you did get, I don't believe is sustainable. The offense you did get besides KD and Kyrie, Bruce Brown.
Yo,
18-9-8. You want to know what Bruce Brown's been doing this season? Last 3 games, Bruce been cooking. Actually, Bruce pretty decent. But last 3 games, Bruce been cooking. Before that, New York, 32 minutes, 5-7-5. You can't have those games. Like, there has to be that consistent third option on this team. You can't have those games. 15-3-3, that's nice. 10-6-1, that's nice. 8-1-5. You can't have those games for them to make it that far. I'm talking about them making the NBA Finals, dog. I'm not talking about them getting out of the first round. I'm talking about the Brooklyn Nets making the NBA Finals. In the moments we needed you most, Seth Curry, where were you? 33 minutes, 0 for 4?
Well, that man went out there hurt, but they rushed him back.
Claxton had a nice game. I like Claxton.
He didn't really get no shots.
6 for 6.
No, I'm not talking about
shots. He made all
I'm
6 of them. Patty Mills,
Steph.
2 for 5.
The thing,
Goran Dragic getting active and grabbing. What in the world, Goran, were you doing, my boy?
Hey, bro. First of all, that's the only thing I give kids.
Double check that process.
They can't be a flagrant.
Hey, why can't that be a flagrant, bro?
Bro, that's just a random act.
Hey, bro, there's no more flagrant or foul than grabbing my meat as I'm coming through the lane, boy.
that was just like, fam, that's not gonna happen every time,
more
dog.
flagrant than grabbing onto the old, you know what I mean, on the way to the lane, my boy.
I disagree.
I'm not talking about the net, right? Like, do we expect Andre Drummond to have a 16-8 game consistently? I hope so. I think that he has that ability. But we haven't seen it on a consistent basis. Seth Curry, like you said, is hurt. He's out there playing decoy, basically. And as you keep looking through the roster, like, there's nobody else that you feel like is going to come in and give you anything. It's literally the KD and Kyrie show, which is fine. But can that hold up? And I'm going to be real with you. In a 7-game series, we're talking about you had to do this to get over the injured, struggling Cleveland Cavaliers who have been on a downslide since they lost Jared Allen. If Jared Allen's in that game last night, 1, I don't think the Nets have a 40-point quarter, and 2, I don't think the Nets are even close to winning this game.
The X factor for this team is Claxton. When they defend the rim, like last night, when they defend the rim, they're a little tougher to beat. He has everything. His problem is he's not engaged. He's not engaged 100% of the time. Like, that's the problem. But when you see like if he's doing what he's supposed to do, KD can help him get those 4 blocks. But then all at the same time, he can catch the lobs. Now if he's engaged, Bruce Brown is more effective because either I'm gonna get this lob or I'm gonna slip, and that floater is open. That floater is open 100% of the time.
Claxton backdoor was such a big thing for them when they started. Like, you would see it.
No, legitimately, that was the whole game.
Every time that the Nets would start to, like, okay, they're kind of like sputtering. They're kind of like, where's the offense going? Like, KD's missed 3 shots in a row. Kyrie's missed a couple shots in a row. What's going on here? Literally only missed 3 shots the whole night, but like, in that second quarter, Kyrie was
sorcery, bro.
Kyrie
sorcery, bro.
But like, when that team would miss a couple of shots in a row, you would see, like, instantly Claxton take off, backdoor, boom, diamond down, jam. All of a sudden, it like threw Cleveland's defense out of whack because Larry Markkinen don't know how to defend nobody anyway. So the second, like, KD's cutting down, dropping dimes, now he has no idea what to do. But it took everything they had just to beat that team. And Boston's not that team. Boston without Time Lord isn't that team. You're not going to get those backdoor looks that easily with Al Horford and Daniel Tice down there. Like, legitimately, they lost their best defensive big. Every other big they have on the team is not a defensive big. Mobley, the rookie.
That just got IQ. Are you talking about Cleveland?
I'm talking about Cleveland. Mobley, the rookie.
Oh yeah, no.
The rookie.
I didn't know that they was 9 for 17. Like, when the game started and they said that, I was just like, hold on, they only won 9 games. It's the All-Star break.
I knew that they were struggling. But they lost Jared Allen. You lose Jared Allen, yeah, you're gonna struggle. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for me,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it took Kyrie and KD 25, 5, and 11, 34, 3, and 12. It took them to do that. For you, Bruce Brown had a great game. Drummond had a great game. Claxton had a great game. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kyrie and KD, I expect that from. Andre Drummond in his time with the Nets has been more of a, hey, we getting active kind of guy.
He got his moments.
10 and 11,
he got his moments.
13, 4 and 10. He's got a few jump out of the page games on you. Last 3 games for them have been really good. 16 and 8, 20 and 13, 15 and 12. You know what I'm saying? Like, but can I expect that Andre Drummond? If I get that Andre Drummond, they're champions. If you get that Andre Drummond from this Nets teams, they're NBA champions. Because that Andre Drummond negates DeAndre Ayton. And if I'm going to pick 2 teams to be in a championship that I feel like they're going to get out, I'm picking the team with KD and Kyrie over the team with CP3 and Devin Booker. I just am. Every time. I don't care what the series is. There's a 7-foot dude dribbling like a point guard with a back to the basket game and a fadeaway that's godly.
Yeah, no, that's wild.
But guess what? The team that they're going up against matches up against them really well. And if it took all of that for you to beat a Cleveland team that was sputtering, I don't know if I can in confidence say you're going to dominate or even beat in 6 or even beat in 7 the best offensive and the best defensive team since the All-Star break. Like that's a completely different animal that you're going up against. For me, there's some concerns about this Nets team. And when I look at this Cleveland team, let me ask you this. As we keep it going, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. We do this every single day of the week. Do you feel like this Cleveland team, because I definitely think they're going to beat Atlanta. I think they'll beat Charlotte. Charlotte might give them more of a fight, but I think this Cleveland team is a better team that people give them credit for even without them. Do you think that they can give y'all fits? Because they do match up with y'all decent.
No, that's what I said. No, I told you yesterday, like that it's just their size. If they don't have Jared Allen, we're beating in 5 games. If they got Jared Allen, I say we take them 6. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. They not beating Atlanta and they ain't beating Charlotte if Karis LeVert is out there doing what he did last night.
This is true.
I'll tell you that.
It's a real question mark, bro.
I'll tell you that.
They gave up a good chunk for him. Like I told y'all he wasn't gonna be that, bro. I'm just like, yeah, everybody was like, dog, that's a crazy trade. I'm like, that's a great trade, depending on what he does. If he's the Karis LeVert, and we had to see, we didn't adjust our brains. It was right off of the night. The trade came like what? 3 days after he had just dropped like
3 days after, and then I think his first game he had 24. So most
killed it. Everybody, this man's killing. That's not when you off ball. The ball ain't in your hands like that. You got to learn to adjust to that. He ain't learned to adjust to that. And then in that time while he was there, he got hurt. So not only did you not have the time to adjust to it, you still haven't adjusted to it. Now you got to try to adjust to it.
He missed 2 weeks too.
You said what?
I said he missed 2 weeks too.
That's what I'm saying. Like in the time he was there, he got hurt. So now it's like now you're trying to adjust to it in the playoffs. I don't expect that to be a good situation for you. You know what I'm saying? So like there's a lot going into this where like I feel like the Cavs team with Darius Garland can beat both this Hawks team because for me, like the Hawks team is okay. We got Darius Garland versus Trae Young. Who's going to come out of that? And then the Charlotte team. I don't know, dog. Does Charlotte feels like they should be better, but they just got the moments where they not.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of what Kenny was saying about Minnesota last night. Like they got the talent, they just play dumb basketball.
Yeah, that's a good bro. When we get into that too, like it was a lot of dumb basketball yesterday. I will say that. This is the thing, right? That's why the playing game is funny to me because it's like, God dang, apparently I can't spell. That's why the playing game is funny to me because there we go. Like you're watching and you're just like, hey man, this is nice. This is good. This is good to see. They're eighth seed. Let's do it. Boom. We watching good back. And then all of a sudden you just be like, hey man, this really ain't that good. Some moments of the game, you just be like, man, this really ain't good basketball right here. I don't know about this one. What's going on with this? Like there were so many moments last night in that Cavs game, in the whatchamacallit game where like the Clippers game where I was just like, hey man, like I get y'all supposed to make the playoffs. Y'all would have been in the playoffs anyway, but like, what are y'all doing right now? What are y'all doing? Where's the intelligence in this? Like, I feel like JB is a better coach. Who was the best coach in this? Steve Nash was not, by the way.
Oh no, Steve Nash was just like
Steve Nash was not.
I told you, Steve Nash, bro. Steve Nash. It's cheeks, bro. Steve Nash is cheeks, bro. Like he legitimately, Claxton was legitimately out there dying, legit Gatorade sign, and Drummond on the bench just sat down, and we legit like, all right, so you really not just gonna, so you're not gonna put my man's in,
dog. Who was the best coach?
And he just sitting up here walking around, and this all he do the whole time. Up and down the sideline.
Hey, it looked good, don't it?
Like this the whole time. Hey, K, get that right there. What? That's what we calling rap? That's what we doing?
Is it still just listen? Is it still just Pop? Is it still just Pop? Like I fully expect Pop to get a dub tonight.
We're gonna find out tonight.
Bro, it's so funny, like,
cause even Ty Lue dropped the ball. Like why you ain't put Batum back in the game,
bro? Like I'm telling you, we saw bad coaching last night,
and we legit just got done saying that Ty Lue was one of the better coaches in the
league. Here's the question, right? Like, here's the question when you got to break it down, right? Like. Who made? It's almost like you have to say who made the fewest mistakes last night. Who was the coach that didn't screw it up that bad last night? Because there was screw ups from almost every single. I mean, maybe JB. I don't know though. I don't know because playing Lowry on KD is. I mean, you don't got a lot of options, but.
I mean, he could at least did Mobley. Mobley, I could see Mobley got that sneaky lateral quickness where he can kind of keep up with him, but at the same time challenge his shot. Like, bro, you know what? Who Larry remind me of? I don't know if y'all. What is that stupid Martin Lawrence movie when he go back to like his old high school to coach? And then y'all remember like I forget what movie that is. He like a prominent he like one of them prominent D2 college coaches go back to his like old high school to coach his like old high school team, and then it's just like this big this big white dude just sitting there. He like get your hands up, and the whole time the dude just Oh my God, like that's all Larry does on defense, bro.
Hey, bro, Lowry is, dog, he bad, bro. He's bad. Like, I was watching that game, and I was just like, why is Lowry out there? First off, you're doing him a disservice to be out there. Second off, like, there's nobody that can guard Kevin Durant, but I would rather see like the 7-foot center that moves like a guard that's your rookie on the team on Kevin Durant than the dude that's been in the league 4 years that can't give you anywhere near similar production. Anywhere near similar production, bro.
Rebound. That was the name of the movie.
The name of the movie was Rebound. I don't even remember that joint,
Rebound. Bro, that mess is hilarious.
I gotta watch that. I don't even remember.
Yeah, nah, because it was like, get your hands up, and he, bro, it was nothing. It was like that's exactly how Larry played, bro. Exactly how Larry played.
He's so bad, bro. It cracks me up when Bulls fans like look back and they're just like, we should have kept that guy. I can't believe we got rid of. We could have waited. It's like, what are y'all watching?
Fam, I'm telling you, and y'all know what I'm talking. That man played exactly like that. Cause, bro, I remember like he hit somebody with a move, and I swear he thought he got him. And then Larry was like, "I'm finna lay this, Katie. What is you doing with that?"
Bro, Katie, here's the thing, right? I think here's the one thing that you got to say is scary about the Nets, right? There's moments where you watch the game where KD's on another level, and that's crazy.
Oh, last night, if his shot was hitting, it was.
Dog, it's crazy. KD's at getting 11 assists a game. KD's blocking shots. KD's like he really does everything. Now, granted, as a defender, I think KD's defense is interesting. I feel like
It's underrated.
I feel like he could stay in front of you, but he lets you go past to use his length against you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see a lot of times where like KD, somebody get past KD, they blow into the bucket, and then they block. KD's behind you blocking your shot away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like KD does that a lot more often than I'm sure Nets fans would hope for. But dog, yeah, last night was it was not a coaching clinic to say the least. You know what I'm saying? It was not by any means a coaching clinic to say the least. I was sitting there, and here's the thing, we gotta get into this other game, bro. Because first of all, appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We got an hour left on the show. We're gonna make this mug lit. We're gonna have some fun in here, man.
Yes, sir.
Tuning in and showing that love. We got to get into the second game from last night, because the second game last night was freaking hysterical. From a I want to like watch good basketball standpoint, that was not it. And Minnesota won the NBA championship last night. First question.
Yeah, yo, they really set it up. Wait, time out. They really set it up like that. Like, Pat Bev was legit crying.
Confetti falling.
Cat had a horrible game, but he still went home with Jordan Wood, so that was a W.
Bro,
like,
and they showed him like kissing Jordan Woods on the like he just won the chip, bro.
Mike was on top of the scorers table. Like, what is this right now?
So last night, Timberwolves get the win over the Clippers, 109-104. Here's the thing, right? It was an entertaining game. It was not a game of great basketball, but it was an entertaining game, and that's all you're hoping for from these play-in games. But when the game comes to an end, Pat Bev gets a big steal. He's talking trash. He's throwing the money sign up, saying y'all should have paid me. And
he was big in George Steve Ballmer face,
which I'm cool with, because like I get it. Like, he felt disrespected with the contract they brought to him. Apparently, the contract wasn't that much. It was pennies on the dollar, according to him. So he felt disrespected. But
I love Pat Bev, dog.
I love Pat Bev, bro. I love Pat Bev. I would have loved Pat Bev to be a Chicago Bull, because I feel like, here's the thing. there's moments, there's players that bring an edge. There just are. There's moments and players that bring an edge. And Patrick Beverley brings an edge to your team. I think they have the best of both worlds, where Patrick Beverley is probably the leader of that team. He's the vocal leader. He's the heart. He's the soul, but he's not the best player. And that's the best moment, I think, because it brings you that energy. That's the Bulls with Joe King. Joe King was absolutely the Bulls leader.
Yeah. Oh, no, they was lit last night, dog.
But before we break down all of that, did the Timberwolves do too much after? Did the Timberwolves
no. Like I said, you got Pat Bev out here crying. Pat Bev all up in Steve Ballmer's face.
Hey, when they did "We Are the Champion," I was crying laughing.
Like, freaking Cat legitimately had a bad game and was like, "Man, forget all this. I'm about to go find my girl."
Bro,
like, man, you got Pat Bev out here. I think that was his mama or somebody.
No, that wasn't his mom. You talking about Pat Bev? No, yeah, that was Pat Bev mom in the stand.
Oh yeah, nah. Then Shorty out here mid game going herself to the floor.
Yeah, dog, I ain't even. Listen.
Hey, in time out. Y'all know the 3-word phrase for that. Yeah, y'all.
Stay with me now, everybody. That was that. Come on, dog. Y'all know what it was. Y'all know what it was.
Yo, like, nah, that was crazy, dog. And the wildest part to me, dog, Muggs sat there and was like, "Oh man, I hate that A-Rod. I hate the A-Rod got the Wolves. Why it couldn't be KG?" Y'all sitting up there hugging this man like, you know he was all pops or something. Bro, it was legit weird. Like, confetti was falling. Like, y'all ain't do nothing.
This is the funny part about it to me, right? Like, everything that happened last night, it's a big win. I'm fine with you celebrating your win. I'm fine with you being excited that you won the game. I'm not gonna come here and be like, they shouldn't be celebrating this hard and blah blah blah, because when you think about the Timberwolves haven't won a lot. The Timberwolves haven't been to the playoffs. The Timberwolves haven't. Like, I get they were celebrating like it was the finals, but for them, it was. But the on the stands, throwing the jersey into the seats, the tears coming down. Like, I like the emotion of it, but let's be real. Y'all was a little bit extra, dog. Like, it was one of them, like, you're watching it happen and you're like, are they really going this hard? And fam, when they put "We're the Champion" on TNT after.
Nah, I was dying. I was done after that.
Oh my God, bro. I was in tears laughing. Bro. And I'm gonna be real with you. Like besides that, the game itself, bro, as they head into this playoffs, bro, they finna get cooked.
Cat didn't celebrate. He ran straight over to Jordan Woods once the game was over.
They finna get cooked.
Oh no!
Cat should have ran into the locker room and said, "Hey, I appreciate you guys saving me the embarrassment of losing this game again, because I was terrible. I don't care what nobody says." Muzz were like, "The refs ain't calling this evenly." I was all on Twitter last night, bro, and Muzz were complaining about the calls that Cat was getting, saying, "Oh, PG's not getting these on the other end." Listen, 1, Cat ain't PG. 2, he was making dumb fouls. They were so dumb.
It wasn't that. Yeah, like it was like Charles said. He made he had 3 fouls. But then after that, you left him out there to make 2 dumb ones. And then the last one was just so stupid. When Kid was like, man, that wasn't no foul, which was a clear over the back.
Bro, that last one, oh my God. Bro.
Hey, I'm actually right on time. Right on time.
Bro.
That was a foul.
Bro.
That was an over the back foul. And you knew that. You knew that.
Why every time I'm in the kitchen, you in the kitchen?
Eating up all the hallmarks.
Like, dog, what? Hey, first of all, I said, I saw the refs being a little biased because if you looked at how aggressive they allowed the Timberwolves to be with the Clippers.
What's up, though, bro? I'm glad you're up.
To a late game, it was wild. If you saw how it was just key moments, and it goes to show you how officiating really does change the momentum of a game. Because the Clippers was rolling. The Clippers had like a nice little 7-8 point lead. They was rolling. Then all of a sudden, ticky-tack foul, ticky-tack foul, they had to make up for the fact that you fouled out Cat. You fouled out Cat.
I don't think you had to make up for the foul that you fouled out Cat.
You crazy.
Cat was so dumb.
No.
Bro, you had
That's
to
not an over the back foul. He flopped.
Bro, you had to foul out Cat. You had
to flopped. Marcus Morris flopped.
Bro, they gave him leeway. Like
he flopped. Look at the play. Marcus comes down with full. He comes down with the ball. He's standing up and just rolls. Like he flops.
Hey, listen.
That's not an over the back.
Whether he flops or not, if you run through somebody, that is an over the back. You cannot. You had no chance of getting that rebound. What are you doing?
He didn't run through him. That's the point I'm saying.
No. The over the back. He went over the back. I'm talking about the fifth foul was done because he went straight through Batum like it was nothing.
Dude, what are you doing?
And then like they let that go. They let that go, and they tried to do the same thing to Zubac.
But you also got to look at it.
Bro, I let you get away with the first one. I can't defend you if you playing like a club.
But look at what Paul George was doing on the as soon as Cat fouls out.
It's PG.
No. It's star all-star versus all-star. Cat is an all-star. No matter what you say, you just don't like the guy. But he's an all-star.
Wait, who said I don't like him?
Hey, I was saying it's PG versus Cat. You just don't like the guy then. Like, it may not just be you. It could be overall perception. You just don't like the guy. And that's cool. Everyone has their preference. But if you allow PG to sit there and lower his shoulder and get into the chest of the defender, why is Cat not allowed the same thing? You can't be biased like that. But like, if you're going to let me play, let me play. But if you're going to let me get into him, let me get into him. Don't sit there and pick and choose when you allow that to happen. That's weak.
That's NBA officiating. We've been saying this all season. This ain't new.
No, I get it, but all I'm saying is, hey, listen, Minnesota still won. Minnesota still won. Clippers are still going to be in the playoffs. I don't care what nobody says. The Clippers are better than both teams behind them. They are.
They'll still be there. They'll still be
the Clippers are still going to be in the playoffs. But it's just weak how they officiated that game. I told you all, I wanted Clippers to win, but I didn't like the way Minnesota was. What did I say? Yeah, I wanted the Clippers to win, but I didn't like how they were being biased toward Minnesota at first, and then it flipped. And I was like, God damn.
I mean, I don't know if they were being biased toward Minnesota. Cat had 4 fouls in the first near the first quarter. That man was 2 minutes into the second half.
Everybody did though. He had 4. He had 4. Anthony Edwards had 3. Pat Bev had 3.
Anthony Edwards had 3 by halftime. So if he had 3 at the end of the second quarter, I can live with that. But 4 with 5 minutes left in the second quarter, that's not. You're not allowing your big to be your big. And if you look at it,
though,
you talk about Cat.
Yeah, look,
just go look at giving him leeway, bro.
Dog, go look at the game and look at the fouls that they called on Cat and look at what Paul George did on the other end.
Bro,
he did the same stuff.
Getting doubled. He was legitimately getting doubled and trying to lower his shoulder, running through a double team.
That's exactly what Paul George does to create shots in his post game.
But it's Paul George. Like, stop. Regular season calls.
You can't say, but it's Paul George. It's another player. It's an all-star versus an all-star.
I actually like Cat. I like Cat, but if you go back yesterday,
I don't like Cat.
I said I wanted him to go off. He was legitimately playing like a clock. He was playing like a clock.
He was absolutely playing retarded last night, bro. I mean, I was sitting there, I was like, you know why? Because he didn't have to do it. That was my problem with it. Cat was doing stuff he didn't have to do. When he hooked Buddy, you was past him. What are you hooking him for? You just picked up your third foul, and it showed me that Cat doesn't understand the moment. Even if you do feel like Marcus Morris flopped, why do you put yourself in that position when you know you have 5 fouls? You weren't going to get that rebound. You just jumped to show that I'm being active. You know, like he didn't get what the moment was at any point. Like at least, you know, like, listen, Caruso picks up 3 fouls in the first quarter. You know what? Caruso starts playing defense a little bit looser. He starts being a little less aggressive on the defensive end and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a fact. It is. George has the respect of the refs.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
And that's just it really is that. And you know why? Because Cat doesn't show up in these moments. PG has shown up in these moments.
I wouldn't say that he didn't show up because he was starting to cook. He got in the third, he was starting to cook. He had 2-3 good moves where it's like your regular big man can't do that. Like Cat is 1 or 2 seasons away from. All right, let me preface this. He's 1 or 2 seasons in a weight room, away from having a Joel Embiid type.
Because he's probably not going to add that weight because that'll change his shot. He want to be a shooting big.
He probably won't add the weight, but if you got to give credit where credit is due. This is a breakout season for Cat.
Again,
give him all the hate.
I agree.
This is a breakout season for Cat. Yeah. He's absolutely put himself on a map, and the skill set he's developed, he's backed it up all season. Now, did he have a bad game?
What is
a terrible game in his play-in? But they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So let's see what these playoffs do before we write him off as not. I think he was just too excited for the moment, and I get that. He was really excited. Thank God it's a team sport because Ant-Man absolutely arrived. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Ant-Man didn't get nearly half the calls he should have got. That man is in the air getting tackled. You know, he almost put somebody on the post today. It was like, oh, no foul. I was like, what? It's like he clearly got pushed. Like Ant-Man has Ant-Man is here.
Was ready.
We are blessed to have Ant-Man versus Ja Morant as a playoff series. That is going to be exciting.
I like that, but they finna get cooked.
I don't think so.
Because they absolutely like the weird part about it is, right? Like, what has Cat been screaming all year? I'm the best shooting big. I'm the best shooting big. I'm the best shooting big. What did he do? I'm going to run down here and try and get in the paint and establish myself. What are you doing?
And that's the thing. I've
had to say that you're the best shooting big. I've had to come on here and be like, yeah, you probably best shooting big we done seen. Like, you're not, at least this season, for a season, you're knocking that thing down. Changes his whole game plan, runs inside, trying to bully ball mugs to prove that I'm tough in the playoffs. Fam, do what you do well. He's not even doing what he do well. That was my problem with Cat last night. And it sets your team. Listen, that D-Lo that you saw, you can't count on. I said coming into this, if D-Lo cooks, that's a very different team. But D-Lo has had so many games where we be like, hey, is he hurt? Is he hurt? No, he played 40 minutes tonight. He played what?
Yeah,
he's had so many games like that to see. I can't count on that D-Lo showing up every night. I need the best shooting big man in the NBA for this team to keep moving forward.
And then, but this is the thing, though. What do we say? Three years ago, when he was playing Houston, and he was going up against Capella,
he's getting
get the ball in the post, go to work, and he still ain't learned. Like I want him to go back and watch tape of Kevin Love.
I don't want him in the post going to work. That's not what he's great
at. The funny thing that you all are like overlooking.
He's actually really good at doing that, and that's gonna help.
The one thing that
help him.
The one thing that the Grizzlies do well is get to the paint, and the one thing they suck at is protecting the paint.
Oh yeah, Cat don't play no defense.
No, I'm talking about the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies don't protect the paint well. They're not league leaders in paint in protecting the paint. They don't suck. Don't get me wrong. They're not a bad team.
Jaren Jackson averaging like a block and a half a game, ain't
I mean, that's 2 blocks a game.
You got to look at it like this. For what Cat can do, if this is for me, this is his breakout season. If he calms down a little bit, that's easy foul trouble for the Grizzlies. Because he's going to get fouled. You can't really stick him. Cat can shoot, he can drive, and he does have a decent post game. If he slows his game down, and that's all on coaching, putting him in the right position. If they slow it down and scheme for that, it's going to be a longer series than you all think. And Ant-Man versus Ja Morant, I'm sorry. I love Ja Morant. Most exciting player this season. I got Ant-Man over the distance. I think Ant-Man.
He won't be sticking him, no.
Like the longevity of their careers and stuff, I see Ant-Man going further in his career. I think this is the defining moment for him. Or could be a defining moment. He's only in his second season. Yeah. But I mean, like, this could be that moment where we like, hey, we really see, and Ant has stepped up. He really has. This is not as lopsided as we're thinking it is. Like, it really isn't.
It is if you get the catch you got last night.
Like, I'm gonna tell you why the Cat matchup is a bad matchup though. Because Jaren Jackson is small enough where I can keep up with him, and fast enough and strong enough where he's not finna bully me in the post. And I can switch, so that little 3-point shot that you talking about he finna get it's not finna be that 100%.
But if I take him out the paint and he's sticking Cat on the perimeter, that leaves that lane open. And I already got a 6'6" tank running through that joint. That's easy foul trouble.
I mean,
it's all about scheming.
That's also Steven Adams.
When you scheme that joint, it's very easy for me to say, hey, Ant-Man could absolutely feast on
that. But that's still Steven Adams down there. I don't need you to block the shot. I just need you to change the trajectory.
Good defensive player down in the paint. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still Steven Adams down. Like, he's still a good defensive player in the paint.
I got you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you have to look at what it does. You take their league leader and blocks out the paint, and you have a little more room. It's like people are going to laugh, but you know what? The people who are going to laugh at that are the people who don't really watch basketball.
No, I just think like there's no way, like, you don't win this series. Anthony Edwards can be great. Anthony Edwards can drop 40 points a game. You don't win this series if Cat don't give you 20 plus. You just don't.
And Cat can give you 20 plus.
This isn't a playoff series, but that's going to be easy for him. And Cat hasn't shown us that he can give you 20 plus in the playoffs.
I'm going to tell you the truth. This is a season for a lot of people to show me what they can do. I mean, DeMar DeRozan has never really performed extremely well in the playoffs. So this is like I don't come into this with those narratives. I'm allowing room for growth.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying this ain't the team that's going to be easy for you to do it at. Like, if you want Cat to be down in the paint, okay, Cat's down in the paint, backing in. I got to get through Jaren Jackson and Steven Adams. I would rather have Cat being the best shooting big man that he is, but Jaren Jackson can stay right in front of you and make that really hard for you. You're going to have to torch them from the 3-point line for your shot to come easy for you.
It's all and then remember this too, though. Remember this too. Dylan Brooks, and we talking about breakout games. Don't sleep on Desmond Bane. Like, it's not. But I'm not saying that your point is not valid. But it's if you trying to tell me that we finna get what we saw last night and that's gonna work against Memphis,
I got Patrick Beverly.
I'm having that's fine. They have Dylan Brooks.
Pat Beverly makes a big difference on a Desmond Bane or a Ja Morant. I don't think you really you're underestimating that influence.
No, I know. I'm not. Dylan Brooks absolutely does the same thing Pat Beverly does. Like he taught like
nah. I'm gonna let you hold that one, dog.
Not at the same level. Pat Bev's a great defender. Two things are true. Pat Bev is a hack.
Gonna get up in you.
Hey, two things are true. Pat Bev is a hack.
I don't think it's gonna be as easy.
No, I'm saying two things are true. Pat Bev is a hack, but he's a really good defender. He's a hack because he plays really, really aggressive defense. Desmond Bane is just freakishly strong. But I think
I like this comment right here.
The biggest problem that they're gonna have Beverly can't guard Ja and Bane at the same time. But yeah, you do got to put Beverly on Ja. You have no choice.
Tell me. So we're talking about this team as if Ant-Man can't defend.
No, he
no.
can.
But why would you want Ant-Man on Ja?
Because he's bigger and he's longer.
Yeah, but you need Ant-Man to have like freakishly offensive games for you to win this series.
This is one of those things where you absolutely can't even go into this game thinking that.
Can I ask you?
Because you don't have the personnel to do it. Your stars have to be stars. Your stars have to show up.
I don't think you have the personnel to put them on them, because if he doesn't have huge offensive games, you're not going to be in this. I'm telling you, like D'Angelo Russell, if you relying on that, like I love D'Lo. I love when D'Lo's cooking. I wanted D'Lo to be that dude. D'Lo ain't that dude night in and night out.
D'Lo can get me a good 18 points.
D'Lo don't consistently get you a good 18 points. That's the problem.
If he's here. If he's
you know what I'm saying? Like be real. D'Lo got hot in one quarter last night. When D'Lo got hot before the half,
I'm not gonna say one because that man.
When D'Lo got hot before the half,
that man had 1 point.
He had 1 point.
He scored 28 the rest of the game.
D'Lo has dealt with injuries the last 2 seasons. He's played 65 games this season. He's averaging 18 and 7. All I need him to do is get his average. Like I hear what we're saying, but like for you to average 18 and 7, yeah, you have some games that are up there. You have some games that are below there.
That's hot and cold.
But your average, like if you look at his last couple games, some games he didn't play, but the games he played, he really only had 2-3 bad. No, he only had real two bad games where he didn't get close to his average. But that's out of the last 10. And I mean, you have to accept this too. Russ is probably accepting. I don't want to call him Russ. D'Lo is accepting who he is. He ain't the star of this team, and you can kind of see that in how he talks. He's not the star, and he doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to. He just needs to be consistent enough to get you 18 and 7, and he can get you 18 and 7.
We'll see, dog.
Now,
he hot. He hot.
We'll see. But
he's hot. He's hot. I give him credit on it. Listen, when D'Lo hot, like legitimately, like he's one of the best players in the league. But
I agree
on
with
this team, he hasn't been. On it, man, you live in the chat. On this team, he hasn't been.
It's my claim to fame, man.
On this team, he hasn't been. And I'm gonna be real with you, like, fam, Pat Bev gonna have a handful. Like, does Pat Bev having to slow down Ja Morant change his impact on the other end?
Let's be real. Go, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say Pat Bev last night. The reason they get that game last night, because Pat Bev comes in with 7, 11, 3 crazy. How many steals? He had 3 steals on that month. Like Reggie Jackson. Like Reggie Jackson. Listen, we know he can be Reggie Jordan or Reggie Jackson. He got two options. He could be Reggie Jordan or Reggie Jackson. That ain't Ja Morant. When he Reggie Jordan, that's a whole different player. You know what I mean?
Here's the one thing I would say about Patrick Beverley that no one really gives him credit for. It's the mental game. You really think Pat Beverley can stick Paul George? Paul George is one of the best one-on-one players in the league to this day. After gruesome injury and everything, I would still take PG over. I would almost take him over Zach one-on-one.
I know he was gonna say that. I was waiting on it.
It's the facts of the facts. He's a better.
You're not wrong.
Zach's advantage is age.
That's the only advantage.
Zach's advantage is age.
PG's a better defender. Paul George is Zach develops his cadence and his skill and stuff like that. Zach is going to be a dog. He's already a dog. He's be much better. But Paul George is that guy right now. With that being said, Patrick Beverley, I was about to say P. Will. Patrick Beverley was sticking him, got a turnover. When they played KD, what was he trying to do to KD? He can't stick KD. What was his game? Try to get in his head. The only reason why that didn't work because it's K freaking D. Can't nobody get in his head.
Hey, listen, no, you get in his head. You just got to be the right person.
Yeah, you just got to be on Twitter.
You got to be Russell Westbrook.
Right? But for real though, like
I'm giving him the ball.
The mental games that he plays against a younger team are absolutely going to get them. Could absolutely be a detriment to that to the Grizzlies because they're too young. They're still riding high off emotion. You saw what they did to the Lakers. Get up a little bit, start talking trash, then LeBron James dunks on your whole team the next play. Like we're still dealing with a young developing team who ain't developed this yet, and it takes years to develop this. And that's the problem that Patrick brings to the thing.
You know what though? I don't know because if it was this on somebody that's somewhat like, I feel like you can get in PG's head. I feel like you can get in KD's head. It may not make a difference. They just that level of talent, but I feel like you can piss them off and make them force shots. They're just really good at making shots they force. Ja Morant gonna chop it up back with you. Ja Morant gonna trash talk back with you. Ja Morant, like he is like he come in with that level of confidence, like, and I think who's the player that we think he's gonna take out that is gonna make a like maybe Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson, you could probably get in his head. I feel like you get
Desmond Bane to me.
Nah, not Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane don't say nothing though.
It would have to be Jaren Jackson.
You don't have to say nothing for someone to be in your head.
I'm gonna say this though.
Yeah, but think about like how Gary Payton talked about like trash talk. He said the worst thing Muzz would do would be like not say nothing back and still play their game. Like that, he's like that irritates you more than anything though. Now he never say nothing.
Like John Stockton, when he played Gary Payton, was already 5,000 assists and steals ahead of him. He ain't got nothing to say.
No, but he was just talking about trash talk in general. He was like when you don't say nothing back to me, like unless I'm killing you. Like Gary said it best, and I feel like it describes Patrick perfect. He was like, I'm not trash talking for you, I'm trash talking for me. He's like, I'm getting myself hype about the game. When you talk trash back to me, now I'm twice as hype. And you know somebody was saying something to Pat Bev last night. You know what I'm saying? You know Reggie Jackson was trying to chop it up back with him. And stop playing with me. You know you can't hold me. Yeah, all right.
But you know what though? I'm gonna say this. The reason why I gotta disagree with you, kid, is because Draymond Green said it best, and I feel like now is where we're gonna see it. He can't put Ja up there yet, but that man is absolutely playing chess. So if you think that they're not gonna be ready,
yeah,
you sadly mistaken.
Draymond
I didn't say Ja.
No,
I said he's getting in Desmond.
No, but him as being the leader,
yeah.
All I got to do is isolate some people around you.
That was ridiculously high praise. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It was.
I wasn't expecting that. He said there's 3 people in the league right now that play that way. Who did he say? He said KD. No, he said Steph, CP3,
he said Steph, Chris,
and he was like, I don't really want to put him in the ranking with these people yet, but I kind of got to Ja Morant. I was like, what?
And if you look at all the interviews that they've done. like mentally, like these mugs know. Like we can hang.
The best part is kid texting me last night like, dog, the NBA didn't change. I just seen Ja Morant with a grill in the commercial.
Yeah. I love it though.
It was way better. It was way better than that one game when they came to Memphis and Malika had to bag up.
Hey, dog, that was a scary game. That was a scary game. Whole
lot of games.
When we was talking, Ja ran on the court. Whole lot of games.
She was about to get never mind. That's a bad.
Relax,
joke.
Brother. Relax. Hey man, what happened to the Breeze, man? That show got canceled years ago, man.
God daggone Malika Andrews.
Yeah.
Hey, but I'll say this though, and I know we got other topics to hit too. The playoffs, the play-in has gotten his money's worth. This is an extra. Yes. This is an extra game.
I hate it, but it has.
It's gotten his money's worth. It's an extra game.
2 extra games, really.
4 if you think about it.
It's crazy, dog.
It's 4 extra games. Yeah, it's 4 extra games. 2 here, 2 here, then that. Well, 3. Whatever. It's extra games. It's extra revenue. But the viewership is up. Viewership is up. We just sat here and talked about this for like 30 minutes.
Hey,
It was
you
a
know
good
why?
game.
Hey, because they smart. They smart. There's nothing left. This is the problem. Like last night, I didn't look at that Clippers Timberwolves game and be like, "This is really excellent basketball we're seeing right here." I watched that game and I was like, "Wow, these referees are terrible." They're missing a lot of calls that they should.
Within the first minute, and
bro, I was like, they're missing a lot of fouls they should call. They're not making a lot of fouls they shouldn't call. And then on the other game, I was like, wow, these referees are terrible. Because we was watching that, and I was like, I've seen 4 fouls in the first 2 minutes of this game, and they ain't called one of them. Mugs swinging for the fences out here.
I will say this. I know this is a lot of... Patrick Beverley had that interview with JJ Redick. He said, you got the chance to be Michael Jordan. And when he said that about Ant-Man, I looked at that interview. I was like, this man is tweaking. But then I looked at Ant-Man and how he play. That man got a chance. He got one good breakout season coming, where it's like, if he just realized I'm faster, I'm stronger, and I got ups.
I think they'll never be somebody on that level because there's not that big of a gap between any of them. Like, what's the gap between KD
if Luka could dunk, that gap is wide.
If Luka could dunk excitingly, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, that gap is wide. But even without it, like, what's the difference between, like, we talk about Luka? Luka's not even in it. He's not even a part of like the main conversation, which is a shame. Like, for people that watch basketball, Luka's in it. But like for the mainstream fan,
he's not as marketable.
He's not as marketable.
He doesn't speak clean English. That's the
he
only
be shooting his shot though. That's why I think it is. He be shooting his shot at the reporters, bro.
He's smooth with it, but I mean, he's smooth from somebody from over there. You know what I'm saying? But like, even that, if he was, I hate to say it, it's not a racial thing, but it's just what we're accustomed to in the U.S.
Look, basketball is a black sport in the U.S. It just, that's how it's viewed. It's a black sport.
If he was a different ethnicity, the hype around Luka would be totally different. He would be considered the best player in the NBA. He would. There's nothing Luka can't do on the court.
Bro, Luka has been on a LeBron
only reason I say probably not is because of what you said with like what gets you on the highlight reel.
I mean, anytime you dropping people off from like 40
feet on a consistent basis.
No. Like if you talk about what gets you on like ESPN every night, what gets you on the TikTok highlights, like yamming on somebody's head. Why did we all of a sudden start focusing in on Anthony Edwards because he killed Yuta Watanabe in his rookie year? Like, that man still did. By the way, Yuta, every time I see you on a highlight, you doing something bad, dog. Stop.
Hey, Brandon. Michael Jordan didn't make it out the first round of the playoffs when he was deemed the best player in the NBA.
Right.
That's an interesting fact for you. Right,
I gotta disagree with you, Pat, because Melo was on a highlight because
Magic and them was calling him the best player in the NBA, but the reporters, the Muzz don't remember this about Mike. The reporters were treating him exactly how they treat Russell Westbrook.
Yep.
You can't be a scorer and win an NBA championship. No scorer has ever won an NBA championship. You have to have a point guard and a guard and a center. Without a point guard and a center, you'll never win an NBA championship. Michael Jordan broke stigmas. Michael Jordan shattered stigmas. All of a sudden, it was like, hey, maybe we should go get a pretty good shooting guard.
Michael Jordan not only was better than Magic and Bird, they both said it.
Hey, before
you do realize that it was a first round exit when Larry Bird called him God in disguise. He called him that was God disguised as Michael Jordan.
After he got done dropping.
I think that's the difference, right? I think that's the difference, right? Like when you look at 90s basketball, there was Mike.
MVP said you're God in disguise, and you're not better.
But think about that. Like when you look at 90s basketball, there was Mike, and there was the rest of them. That's not the case anymore, right? Like Luka can get, like, you really, like, there's games where like Mike got, but it ain't many of them. It ain't like you can go look through the tape and be like I know I've seen multiple games where Luka's gotten this season. You know what I'm saying? I've seen games where Ja Morant's gotten got. I've seen games where LeBron's gotten got. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the level of talent isn't on the same level. Boy, you giving this boy so much screen time. God, dog.
Well, this is the thing that I like about it too, though. Like now you seeing it where it's just like when it was Mike, and then after Mike, you was like, okay, we kind of knew it was Kobe, and then Bron, but we had a question like, okay,
but even with Kobe,
who is gonna be? And it's so many good players, bro.
Yeah, that's the like even with Kobe,
the league is in such good hands. Like it's gonna be crazy.
Even with Kobe, right? There was Kobe and Shaq,
and then there was,
and until you saw T-Mac cook Kobe, you really didn't think anybody was on Kobe's level.
He isn't a guy.
Until you saw T-Mac cook Kobe, you didn't think there was anybody in the NBA on Kobe's level.
The separation for me for Kobe was 2004 to 2010. Like I felt like the league had gotten better. There was more dynamic guards, Vince Carter, stuff like that, because Vince Carter had been in the finals and stuff like that. So I felt there was more dynamic two guards and forwards. But from 2004 to 2010, there was no two guard even close to Kobe.
Right.
Kobe went on that James Harden won an MVP.
There wasn't
off of having the exact same season Kobe had, where he didn't win MVP.
Let's be real. There wasn't a player that you would have put close to Kobe.
There was no player I would have put over Kobe.
That's the
not
difference.
LeBron, not Melo, who
right now
was absolutely a monster.
Right now, who would we say the best player in the league is?
It's on the fence.
I don't know.
That's the difference.
I'm on the fence.
That's the difference. It could be KD. No, it could be Giannis if he's knocking down a jump shot that day. It could be Luka Doncic if he's doing what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like the gap isn't as you'll never. This is why I say like there are moments in time and you just have to enjoy the moment. You'll never get another Michael Jordan again because there will never be that gap in the NBA again. If we see that gap, that will be crazy because you have to think about how far and above everybody else that player would have to be. He would have to legitimately do what we say Michael Jordan would do in today's NBA. He would have to average 40.
You want to know why I say you can't say that now? It's because it's what you value most. Like we've always had dominant bigs and we've always had dominant guards, but rarely have we had this many dominant bigs exist with this many dominant guards. Like we've never had it happen this way.
Like it's so
90s.
Good. It's so good.
No, like now we have
the 90s. You had Shaq, David Robinson. What do we count? What's his name as?
So you got Shaq, David Robinson. You had Hakeem. You
what
had
do we count?
Patrick Ewing.
Chris Webber.
I give you Chris Webber.
What do we count Buddy from Atlanta as? He technically was a 4, but
you talking about not Daryl Dawkins. I know you're talking about that.
I do keep thinking that you do got to put Daryl Dawkins in there. He was also playing, but he was older. But
so like you got them. No.
From Atlanta. Alonzo Mourning.
Alonzo Mourning is a big. Now y'all know who we talking
Carl
about.
Malone. Why can't I think of him?
Atlanta. He went shot for shot. Dominique Wilkins. Good job, bro.
Thank you, Shay. Hey, that was terrible. That was awful.
So like we had those forwards, right? But check this out. How many dynamic two guards could you go down the list like that with?
No, it wasn't. It was.
You can't.
It was.
Reggie, Jordan, Drexler, not Mullins. What was the other one?
Hardaway.
Grant Hill, maybe, but that was only 2 years.
Penny was a point.
Penny was a point.
Kind of. That's another one of them winners. Like
you had a bunch of people sprinkled in that had flashes, but like dominant two guards, you didn't have it. Like today, name your two guards.
Yeah, you know all of them.
Name your point guards. And now we got the combo guard has really evolved to the point where I don't know what you call Kyrie, but Kyrie to me is a top 5 player in today's NBA.
No, I just want to make it official. Kyrie is sorcery. That's all that is.
Kyrie's skill set is on a different level than most people in the NBA.
Kyrie is sorcery. That's what you call that. That's sorcery.
Man, hey, listen, I didn't know he played for Washington like that because that boy a wizard.
So like, but for real,
he was on Wizard County basketball team. You ain't him? He was on Wizard Kelly basketball team, bro.
He was on Wizard Kelly basketball team.
Let's be for real though. It's all about preference now because Kyrie, to me, skill set wise, unmatched.
Okay, now I had to pull up the list. Well, T-Mac, I don't really count. We don't count T-Mac. T-Mac 2000.
He's a forward.
He's a forward. Jordan, Reggie, Drexler, Richmond, Dumars, Spreewell, Jeff Hornacek.
Spreewell.
Once you get to Jeff Hornacek, the list is done. Because Jeff Hornacek was a good Steve Smith. The list is done. They were good two guards, but they weren't great. We got great two guards right now.
No, you do. Yeah, no, you definitely do. Oh, JR
we
Ryder,
got two potentially on the Bulls.
I need y'all after watching that. You did good.
JR
y'all go watch JR. JR jab step was deadly. Mugs be stuck. Bibby, yeah, was Bibby wasn't.
Bibby was a point guard.
Bibby was a point, yeah. Bibby was a point.
AI was a point guard.
Was he really, dog?
No. Hey, listen. That conversation, I'm not gonna lie to you. AI
I'm not gonna lie. I felt like he was a shooting. You talking to like one of his number one fans.
No, listen.
Was a shooting guard.
This is my problem with AI. AI position change based on what you're debating at that time. Not you specifically, but just basketball fans in general. Like no matter what you're debating, AI's position changes. Like if I need him to be the best shooting guard of all time, we really having this conversation right now. AI's a 2, but if I need to talk about dynamic scoring point guards, AI's a 1. It's like, man, what was he, dog? Like, you can't. Hey, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm done arguing position.
He was a 2.
I'm done arguing position on all players, bro, because it don't exist no more.
You
know what he is? Really freaking good. Everybody's position, RFK. Everybody play RFK. Ray Allen, 90s point. Yeah, 90s 2 Ray Allen. That was kind of ended.
Bucks Ray Allen was.
Hey, Bucks Ray Allen was a difference maker, brother.
Hey, man, that man was putting the ball on the floor getting jiggy.
But like everybody position changed based on where the conversation is. You know what I'm saying? Right now, DeMar's the 3, but technically he's a 2. But he's I mean, like it's just weird, dog. But no, like.
Oh, by the way, I'm resigning after today.
Oh, shut up, dog.
Yeah. Hey, and by the way, when we close out the show, call me Brody. When we close out the show, call me Brody.
Bro, y'all gotta follow us on Twitter, man. Twitter is a hilarious place. Follow me at Path of Design.
This man is going hard on the Malika Andrews. I haven't seen his name so much. Good Lord. Hey, Roy, you okay, my boy?
Hey, Roy, man.
I don't think they make enough lube for that. What the type of action you trying to give Shorty? Like, come on now. You going hard in the paint.
That's what he's trying to do. I think that's the whole point.
Man is out here reckless.
And aren't we all though? I think the crazy part is, right, like when you talk about will you have that dynamic level of a player again? Like in today's day and age, how do you set yourself apart? I don't think that doing one thing better, like Embiid's a better defender than Jokic is. Jokic is a better passer than Embiid is, but just because Jokic does it more. You know what I'm saying? Like Embiid can pass. He's a really good passer. He's got good court vision. He just don't pass. So like, who would you rather have on your team? Who like? There's not. That's the best big man in the NBA. For you to have somebody at a Jordan level, like there was Jordan and there was legitimately like, who's the next best shooting guard? Clyde?
Yeah, but it wasn't close after the finals.
It wasn't close before the finals. I hate to tell you this.
We knew that too, but I'm just saying.
Don't let them newspaper clippings tell you otherwise, brother. I've watched Clyde Drexler. You watch Clyde and you like, yeah, he was a really good basketball player.
I'm just saying
you don't watch Clyde and be like, hey, I'm gonna tell you this right now. You watch Clyde, you be like, he was a really good basketball player. You don't watch Clyde and be like, hey, that man is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen with a basketball in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference. You're like, who's gonna set themselves apart like that? Like, you would have to average 40. You would have to average 40 and be a great defender to be the Jordan of this era.
But I don't think that's.
And I think that's what holds LeBron back the most, right? Like when LeBron first started, if LeBron was playing at this level, the first stint he had in Cleveland, now granted he was much younger, but if he was playing the way he was playing now, the first stint he had in Cleveland, he would have had that time to take that mantle from Kobe. He didn't. Because there was Kobe, there was Bron, and at no point did Bron pass Kobe.
I would say that's because, your mans didn't get no pieces around him, but
I mean that's fine, right? But like I can also look at Kobe teams that didn't have no pieces around him and he won a lot of games.
Dog, listen, I was down this hill alone, but you casual basketball fans get on my goddamn nerve with that argument.
I'm gonna look at the team with your next best player.
I'm gonna say this one time, and everybody in the chat can either jump off something or go argue with your mama. I don't care. Kobe Bryant in the West had Smush Parker, Kwame Brown, and a bunch of other.
Oh no, we know the roster. I'm just saying.
Let me finish though. Let me finish. He had a bunch of people who you wouldn't even pick up at your local export. And he took them to a first-round exit. Now, mind you, it was a first-round exit, but he played the best team in the league, at least the highest-rated offensive team in the league at that time, with a bunch of nobodies while shooting lights out. I don't care what nobody says. He was in the Western Conference, where up until recently, the Western Conference was the most dominant conference in the freaking NBA. Right now, you could go look it up. LeBron James had more help on his team than Kobe did before Paul Gasol got there.
Them younger years though, we talk, bro. We talking about. I'll raise you Mo Williams, but we really out here talking Boobie Gibson.
We really out here talking about Big Z Gibson, as an all-star the year before and the year after LeBron got there.
Anderson Varejao,
Antoine Jameson,
Sasha Pavlovic,
Antoine Jameson.
I mean, we can keep going.
Antoine Jameson.
Hey, listen,
don't skip over just to prove the point by naming
Antoine Jameson.
He had Antoine Jameson and Big Z. Big Z was an all-star the year before and after LeBron got there. Name the all-star on Kobe's team when he had to go play against the Suns first season, 2004.
Name the all-star. At the same time, we're not gonna act like Brian had
wasn't Andrew Bynum there. Andrew Bynum didn't average more than 18 points a game at all. He didn't get close realistically. But I want y'all to understand something. At the time when y'all said LeBron passed him in the mid-2000s, when the Chans and HEL that man passed Kobe. Kobe was head and shoulders above everyone in the league. They have a 30-minute clip of nothing but NBA players saying, you know what the basketball player is? The guy who's sitting there 6'6" and could stick defense and bust your tail on the offensive end.
But I think that was his time. You know what I'm saying? Like that was if you were gonna be that Jordan level player, that was your time to do it. Because there was never another time in the NBA where there was that gap. Kobe's time ended it. And it's really because T-Mac was always hurt. Kobe's time ended that gap. Since then, when LeBron went to Miami, Kevin Durant was here. Anthony Davis was here.
LeBron arrived when he got to Miami, and he went God mode for his first championship. That's from that point forward, 2012 to now. That's LeBron's time. I give him that.
Yeah, no, he was the best player in the league, but how far was the gap?
The gap between him and KD closed when KD went to Golden State.
Yeah, nah, that I can agree with. I would say
that's when he.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Me being a Heat fan,
last year,
me being a Heat fan, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. That version of LeBron. Nobody want to smoke with. Nobody want to smoke with that.
No, listen. I told y'all then. I wish I didn't have my tweet cleaner on, but no, I'm glad I do. But I wish I didn't have a tweet cleaner because I literally sent out a tweet when you saw KD trying to make a move and what's that boy's name? And he's trying to defend LeBron. LeBron carried him and the basketball to the basket, and he dunked it. And I said, wow, that's the second best player in the league for sure, but that's the best. But I don't feel like the gap was miles. I feel like we looked at that and we said KD's not old enough yet.
I looked at it and say he was a different player. KD would never be the physical specimen that LeBron is, but LeBron would never have the offensive game that KD does. And for what it's worth, KD puts up the exact same numbers outside of assists. Look it up. He puts up the exact same numbers. And for that to be something that we like ding against them, like KD puts up the exact same rebounding numbers, exact same scoring numbers. The only thing he doesn't do is sit there and facilitate the ball because he gets to his spots. He lets everyone else cook. KD, I could put KD on any team, and that team is a contender. I have to construct an entirely different roster to accommodate LeBron James. And that's the biggest difference between the two for me.
Oh, no,
that's why KD will be a better player to me than LeBron. But I will say this, not better. It's my preference. I prefer KD's game over LeBron's.
Right.
I don't think one is better than the other because they are both going to go down as the greatest players of ever, or some of the greatest players of ever lived. KD is a top 10 player already.
But that's the difference.
That's
why I say we'll never have another player like Jordan unless they do something crazy like that. Because you can argue KD, I can argue Brian, Ringo can argue Giannis, somebody else can argue Embiid.
That's a fact.
Can I
when Jordan was on the court, you couldn't argue. I don't care if Hakeem was on the court. And Hakeem is that dude.
You know, I'm gonna just say this, then I'm gonna never address this guy again because he just comes up with the takes that irritate my soul. Do you know that the makes other teammates better
full
things?
Screen.
No, did you know? Screen.
Yeah, I'm a full screen.
ADD on kid is wild.
It is wild. No, seriously, my meds are coming tomorrow. I'll be better. But no, seriously, like. You know, he laughing. I'm dead serious. Like he knows too. And you can tell when I'm on him too, because I'm like a totally different person.
But it's just so funny, dog. Every time I see that orange pop up, you just be like, and another thing.
But the thing is, like the narratives, though, dog. The narratives of makes other people better. You can't make someone better in this day and age. You either have it or you don't. I really wish people you can't make someone better. Gilbert Arenas talks about it. You can't make it better. You either have the talent or you don't. I can't make you better. If I pass you the ball and you shoot, you're doing what you should have been doing.
It's about what the definition of it is, though, right? Because like Chris Paul, in theory, makes Devin Booker better, but it's because somebody else is there, so I can't defend Devin Booker the same way. So he has the same talent, right? Or maybe he's improved his talent, but having a better team with you, I can't play you the same way, and that makes you better.
So let me ask you this: Does Chris Paul? Did Chris Paul make Devin Booker hit that left shoulder turnaround fade better, or was it Devin Booker's time in the gym?
Chris Paul made Devin Booker hit that left shoulder turn away fade better because there's not a second defender that can come over to Devin anymore when Chris Paul is on the floor, because
he eliminated a threat, but
he eliminates a threat.
He didn't make his ability to hit that shot better.
In that, it makes it I'm saying I'm just talking about better, like percentage wise. In that, it makes it better because less defense means I'm going to hit this shot at a higher percentage. Now it's more deadly. Now, if I'm the Bulls, yeah, I want to shade off. But when I do shade off, guess what? Oh, shoot, he kicked it out to CP3 for a wide open three-pointer. Let me run back out here. And now I run back out. He pump fake, CP3 dribble in. Now the man on Devin got to step up because CP3 didn't dribble in. Now Devin's wide open.
You can
it makes the game easier. It doesn't make your talent level better.
You cannot make a professional player better. They make themselves better. The only thing you can make it easier. And that's the one thing, like, I love the fact, the one thing I hate is that all these professional players have these podcasts because it's like, you know what, we ain't play. Like, I didn't play ball on that level. So, I mean, I would tune into it. But the one thing it does is it gives you the mindset of professional players.
Hey, I love it because it tells me what I need to know that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, I can listen, you can analyze the game different than I can, but I can look at tape and see what a defensive set is and understand it if I study it. That's just for me growing up watching basketball my whole life.
I'm with Kid though, because case in point, Tyler Hero, bro. Like I mean that's just what I keep going back to. Like he made himself better, bro. Like he legitimately made himself better.
What's Tyler Hero doing this year that he didn't do his rookie year?
Huh?
What's Tyler Hero doing this year that he didn't do his rookie year? He just had a bad second season.
He developed.
Nah, he developed. The stuff he's doing now, he definitely did not like. That like his handle was better.
His handles are better. I get it.
His handle was better. His shot selection to me is better. He gets to his spots way easier than he did before. I will say. So I mean, to me, yeah, I mean he's worked on his game, and to his credit, he did that. He walked into the gym, told his trainer, and he said this. Told his trainer, make me like Bradley Beal. They went to work, and he's improved.
Boom. Look at what you just said, though. He told his who?
Told his trainer, make me like Bradley Beal.
His trainer, he said, hey, listen, this is whose game I'm trying to develop like. This is what do I need to do? He individually took it upon himself to make himself more valuable to the marketplace, the NBA, on the floor. He took it upon himself to do that. He didn't say Jimmy Butler told me to get with this trainer to go with that guy. It's like, no, he said I took it upon myself to do it. At this point, you either have it or you don't. You know what's a good case in point for this? If your all-stars make people better, why is it that Russell Westbrook had the worst season of his career?
Because Frank Vogel didn't.
It's LeBron's team, though.
Listen.
It's a hard angle.
Frank is the scapegoat.
It's a hard angle.
Frank did some dumb stuff.
Nah, I mean,
why didn't LeBron make Russell
Westbrook better? Scapegoat, but you do have to agree to a certain point. You can't bring me in for something and then tell me not to
do something that's not in my game. I agree with LeBron. I agree with you on that.
You know what? You need the ball. I need to play off ball like we thought he would. The same way Dwayne Wade had to defer to him in Miami.
Because Brian can't defer. We've seen that already. And here's the thing:
Dwayne Wade was absolutely the best person on the Heat the first season they got together. Look at it.
But think about it. It's because Brian didn't know what to do. Brian was the better talented player, but he didn't know what to do. He didn't know how. Brian does not know how to play off ball. It's like you keep bringing up with James Harden, Ringo, when you talk about learning how to play off ball takes a couple of years. He doesn't know how. And Brian has to be the best player on his team. He doesn't have the time to learn how to be an off ball player, because when he does that, his team loses. So the best chance for them to win is for Brian to do what Brian does. They just keep building poor teams around that because he doesn't accept it at this point. He's like, I want to take a step back and let other people do more. No, you don't. And that's okay. Go out being Brian. Be that dude. You're still averaging 33 and 37.
That's the question I wanted to ask, though, to both of y'all. So, like, when you say, I would take, and I'm going to use Kid's example, right? So, when you say that you wanted to take KD, like, over LeBron in terms of, like, I want to play for him, this is the person I want to play for, is it because of the fact that, because I'm at a mindset, LeBron feels like I can still tear down this team, but I'm good enough to take my team to the finals, so just give me some pieces. Whereas with KD, it's just like, all right, give me who I got. I'm going to still get to my spots. And like you said, I'm going to get you both.
Because
it's what I value.
KD can do both, right? Like KD can, like you watch KD, like this team clearly, like I have my concerns with it. KD can pass if he needs to. KD last night was facilitating. He had 11 points, and then he was like, hey, I'm going to start shooting now. Because he saw that me scoring all these points ain't going to be what's going to get us ready for the NBA playoffs right here. With Bron, like it's not a slight at Bron. Like Bron's an amazing passer. He's an all-time. He
got 10,000 assists, I think.
10,000 assists, right?
Yeah.
But they don't put teams around. Bron needs teams with just shooters. Bron needs the same team Ben Simmons has. Ben Simmons has now. Bron needs that team.
That's a fact.
Because if Bron has that team, Bron drive and kick is the most deadly thing in the NBA. Because what are you gonna stop? The drive? You can't. It's impossible. What are you gonna stop? The kick? You can't. I got a 40% 3-point shooter out there.
And to your point, you have to construct that around Bron.
Yeah.
When you do it well, like people look at his teams and say, "Oh, he had nobody." Bron had teams of people who were good enough, and they were specialists at what they did. People hate Mo Williams all you want to, but Mo Williams was the earliest version of. Let me finish, Ringo. He was the earliest version of what he needed in a Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
Right.
If you look at those games, he was the earliest version of what he needed in a Kyrie Irving. He needed someone that really in that third quarter go off and get a bucket. And Mo Williams became an all-star. And if you look at when he scored, his numbers went up when LeBron either sat in those down times or things of that nature. LeBron needed someone to carry that. So Mo Williams wasn't weak by any means. He was.
And I'm not saying he was, because he was really good. I was just saying everything else, like. After that, I just didn't feel like
this. Hey, let's be real. This is one of the best comments Brand's had on this channel. LeBron probably has the greatest. LeBron probably has the greatest skill set ever, but he has to have the ball to use that skill set. KD's dangerous on and off ball. That's a fact.
And that's why I value KD more. KD is someone I can put in any system. And when they say the ball will find you, the ball finds him. It's something to be said when you can go to a team that has all-time great shooters and they defer to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's more impressive to me. And if you look at it, KD got his shots. And at times he did demand it because he was hot. But a lot of times the ball just found the right person. And they all ate. We haven't seen that type of synergy since the Celtics. Larry Bird Celtics.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen that. Like
I would say the Warriors, because I think it was one year KD was only taking like 14 shots a game, but he was like
still
mad
averaged
efficient.
25.
Huh?
And he still averaged 25.
Yeah. Like he was like mad. He only took like 14 shots. He was like mad efficient, and I remember they were struggling, and he told Steph, bro, he was like, bro, like do what you do. Like I'm going to get mine. Like I'm going to get mine legitimately, and he only took like 14 shots a year. But he was getting like 25 to 27. Like he was in the MVP. He was in the MVP conversation that year.
That's a different skill set for a jump shooter to be able to be that efficient, that unstoppable, and to be able to integrate within any system. That to me is more valuable than having to totally reconstruct my roster for us to have a chance and as an organization bet my future on an aging star. Like that to me is just, that's why I value what KD does now, or for the last couple of years, I would say last 5 years, over what LeBron does. Early LeBron is a different story, and I can't really compare them, because early LeBron, 2010, 2011 LeBron is 9 years in versus KD's 3 to 4. That's not a fair comparison. But year 9 and year 10 for KD versus year 9 and year 10 for LeBron, I would be really interested to see how that would match up. I really would.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, it's gonna be interesting, man. The sad thing is, Brian didn't even get the playoffs to see it, man. Hey,
hey, Brand, you funny.
The other Brandon is giving me bad names with these takes.
I almost thought it was you for a second until I saw that.
No.
Yeah,
I knew it was little bro in the chat, man. Hey, we appreciate y'all for for pulling up to the channel as always, man. We're going to have content dropping today as well. Also, if you're a Locked On Bulls fan, Hayes down a little bit sick, so we didn't get to record last night. I'm going to record the show today. I might do it live. We'll see what comes from that, but we're going to have Locked On Bulls calling. We're doing it live. Let's do it live. We're going to have that as well. And then we're gonna have a ton of content coming out on the channel. Gotta react to the 2 players that the Bears had in the facilities to work out, man. So we're gonna be talking about that as well. Appreciate the love. Busy day for me, but we're gonna have fun with it. As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Joined by the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid, and of course, Brody. Hey man, y'all stay safe out there, Chicago.